see me, and this is a collective reading, so please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. So right now, I'm feeling some sort of magical phoenix energy today, okay? And right now, the word coming through is resurrected. Something you thought was dead or was about to be dead is gone and is coming back, okay? Is what I heard. Something interesting about that wording there. And it's coming back with a massive financial or emotional reward, okay? Now let's find out what other messages are coming through. Um, yeah, Phoenix rising. Okay, it's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Kind of like dust, the ashes to dust, dust to, something like that. The phrasing might be of significance, okay? I don't know why I heard Twilight Zone for some reason. I have no idea. But there's some sort of revival happening, okay? You're in some sort of energy of release, okay? We're getting butterfly vibes, moth in a flame is what I heard, okay? Something about you are being asked to release, okay? Any toxic people or situations from your life, okay? You deserve to be free of all the drama, okay? And this is the first step to achieving that. Wow. We get the death and the Five of Wands in your landscape, okay? Something to do with in the starting position, okay? You stand forth as this emperor, very strong, very sturdy is kind of the vibe I'm getting. Someone who is stable, strategic. You have authority in what you are doing with that. I believe Aries energy, okay? Something to do with just being, I'm hearing wise about something, okay? So wise that you're able to call the shots about something because you already did I heard articulation of the situation. It's like you ran it down. You're like, this, and that, check mark, check box. Ooh, I'm hearing sirens in the background. So that might be a significant, some sort of emergency, okay? You took the emergency route, okay? I heard you hold the alarm, okay, is what I'm hearing there, okay? And that's why the situation is being called to change, okay? There's being a death called to the situation, an ending, a release is being called down. I'm hearing lightning striking down on something, okay? People are shocked is what I'm hearing because they're ending up getting themselves twisted, okay, in some sort of web that they tried to concoct for you, okay, or that they expected you to stay in is what I'm hearing. Yeah. This death energy, okay? They wanted you to have some sort of ending, some sort of release, and even if you did, you transformed, okay? We're getting some sense of renewal and rebirth with that Scorpio energy, okay? In death. But with that Five of Wands, okay, maybe there was a whole group of people who tried to put an illusion on you, okay? Cast an illusion on you, your ability to move forward and release. Something to do with just trying to put you in some sort of mental turmoil is what I'm hearing in this moon energy. Okay, trying to cast a veil over you while they're trying to fight you, put you at odds with situations related to your passion and your action, okay, towards that. This Five of Wands also feels like it was a you versus them, but really it was you against your dreams, okay, what you were trying to pursue, some sort of project is what I'm hearing, okay? It's like you are putting effort into something, okay? And they thought it died down, okay? But you were just quietly working on it behind the scenes, okay? And it's coming back with some sort of emotional reward, some sort of massive financial reward, okay? In that messaging that we got in the beginning. But yeah, something to do with someone tried to cast a veil, okay? I'm also feeling like something to do with that moon energy, okay? Casting a veil. It's almost as like you're in some sort of maze with no map, you know? They try to throw you in there. It's almost like, ooh, I was hearing stories about people going up to some sort of desert locations and leaving their spouse to just like leaving them there to like cast away, if you know what I mean. And so they're like some individuals actually perish in the desert and because they can't find their way out, but some get saved by local tourists who are traversing or hiking through the path, and so it kind of gives that vibe where people thought that's what they were trying, like that you were doing or what you were experiencing is what I'm hearing, okay? But in actuality, you were planting some sort of seed, okay, into some sort of project that they thought died, but it suddenly started to spring into life, okay? With a force that even you didn't expect, is what I'm hearing, okay? People didn't know what was happening in the backgrounds, but you trusted the signs. You knew what was happening. You knew when you had to strike, you struck. Okay, it's almost like when the cards fell. I'm like, oh, spirit told me to pick that one up, even though there's quite a few underneath that. It was like that's the one. Okay, it's like you trusted the path. You trusted the guidance that was being set forth for you. Okay, by your spirit guides. Okay, by the divine. Something to do with the universe was speaking to you clearly, okay? You followed your intuition. You received the messages you needed to, I heard face, see, and believe is what I'm hearing, okay? Something to do with you also casting away failed attempts, okay? Is what I'm hearing. It's definitely got people in a tumble, okay? Leaving them shocked, leaving them feeling like they should have had a bigger plan is what I heard, okay? Yeah, they're having deja vu moments, okay, of repeated patterns. We're getting a lot of repeated patterns, old patterns, patterns of the past. We're getting a lot of messaging around just those sort of situations. The collective is working on themselves, and you're a part of that experience. You know what I mean? You're a part of that breaking the old cycles, breaking the chains, okay? Something to do with these familiar lessons, okay? These unresolved issues. You felt like you've been here before, okay? So you were just like collecting all of this information in silence, okay? This is like almost like a gift given to you by the divine. It's like you were able to tap into what was happening, okay? It might also be due to some sort of relationship that kind of sparked this moment, sparked this situation, okay? Might just be as you're traversing your path, securing the bag, that also might be of significance, and you're just like, oh, this is interesting, you know what I mean? But in actuality, okay, while you were having these old pattern deja vu moments, okay, I'm getting the sense that you noticed that people were busy mocking your failed attempts, your failed patterned attempts, okay? The universe was chiming in, okay? Fermenting your success in the dark, okay, is what I'm hearing. And there's a bigger payout, a much larger payout. As this thing that was fermenting in the dark, you thought just because the sun, the light wasn't shining down on the seeds that you planted, you felt perhaps they weren't going to blossom. But every rose, I'm hearing every blossom takes time to bloom, is what I'm hearing, okay? Or every bloom takes time to blossom. Something along the lines like that, okay? Something to do with springtime, okay, is very significant recently, okay? Something to do with this harvest, okay, is going to leave people so shocked that the celebration is going to be big, is what I'm hearing, okay? People are watching you walk away from certain situations and walk into something much bigger than what you are today, is what I'm hearing, okay? It's going to leave people very silent, okay? But this project is coming back to you. Some sort of project you worked on in the background is coming back to you, okay? 10 of Cups, King of Swords is something that you took a lot of not only like rationality towards, okay, not really aggressive rush action, but something that you definitely balanced and alchemized in the energies, okay, with that temperance vibe, okay? Something to do with you just being very rational and logical about what you needed to do and who you needed to be, okay? In the meantime, while things were working itself out, okay? 2 of Swords, this might have gotten a few people in a split, okay, in a compromising position is what I'm hearing. Something to do with got people feeling a chokehold is what I heard, okay? Something to do with, yeah, while you're taking care of yourself, okay, people are in the background, fake flexing, trying to win at all costs, trying to double back what they said, but you're prioritizing your rest, okay? You're releasing the toxicity of that energy that was amongst you. You're pampering yourself. You're having me time now, okay? But at the same time, these people want to show off, okay? They want to try to borrow things from you, borrow your luxuries, create deceptive bragging around you, okay? Maybe on Instagram, maybe on certain situations, but you're not allowing that to affect you. You're ascending, okay? You're balancing out a lot of the energies of the past, and it's very much reminiscent of just like that temperance and the vibe of just integrating, harmonizing, okay, alchemizing, okay, with your spiritual growth, your higher levels of awareness and consciousness, so much so that you're elevating yourself on a daily basis, okay? Let's find out what else is happening in that final outcome. Okay, something about cutting the cord, something to do with these enemies, okay, they're gonna keep coming back, and you're gonna just be like, hey, I gotta cut you off, you know? That's the vibe I'm getting. Something to do with alcohol for something, for some reason. Something like this, the bartender's like, hey, this is your last drink, is what I heard. I don't know why. So maybe someone who drinks, okay, might be of significance here. Um, Adventure. So be open to new opportunities. So there's gonna be something that's coming in for you that's almost going to make you feel like a nude again, some sort of success, some sort of, it feels almost invigorating. Like you're not going to be aware that this adventure is beginning for you, that this opening is happening for you. And it's like the universe almost wants you to be open to receiving it, is what I'm hearing, okay? Because there's some sort of treasure that's at the end of the rainbow, is what I'm hearing, okay? But it requires you to protect your energy and your space, okay? In order to receive it. It feels like it's something to do with who you are as a person, like some sort of learning lesson, some sort of it feels like, it feels, of course, massive financial success, but it also has a lot to do with the emotion, okay? Like how you see yourself, how you feel about yourself is very significant here in the energies, okay? Is what I'm getting there. But yes, this is a gift from the divine, okay? It's some sort of precious offering, but I'm also hearing that you're offering gifts to the divine, okay? Or perhaps it's a request from your spirit guides to offer them a gift, to speak to them about what they want to receive from you, okay? This might be, some sort of object that you perhaps given to them or plan to give to them, okay? Maybe it's something about inviting them to eat amongst you, okay? Maybe perhaps providing fruit, okay? I'm hearing like fruits, nuts, and something along those lines, okay? Might be of significance, okay? Perhaps you have some sort of shrine or deity that you, pray to, worship, perhaps, okay? And there also is some sort of gossip coming through, okay? People are watching you elevate. They're wondering, how are you doing it, okay? But it's because you're receiving messages from the divine, okay? You have divine intervention at play, working in the background for you, okay? Resurrecting the old. Zoom, okay? Zoom, the actual program, might be of significance, but also you're zooming in on something, okay? Or maybe they're zooming in on something. The answer is there if you look closer, okay? It feels as though their energy in the collective feels as though like there's some sort of success from projects or people that went silent, okay? So maybe you were working on something with a couple of people. They kind of expected like, hey, you're just planting the seeds of this project. It's nothing, and you two probably didn't expect it to be anything. So when you walked away, they didn't look back, but when you look back, you saw something growing. So you're like, okay, you know what? Let me actually, this is like almost like a ghost harvest. You know what I mean? It's like you thought it wasn't building up anything, building up momentum. Little did you know, it was like compound interest. It was compounding over time. Okay. And because of that, it's like, people are almost upset that they didn't go back with you. So it's like they felt like they wasted their time. They had these failed attempts. They were trying to mock you for what you tried to cultivate. They thought it was nothing. It also gives this vibe of like when you're trying to do something in the background, hidden in a silent atmosphere, people are always keen to try to tell you like, oh, I don't know if it's worth it. It's not gonna work out. And it's like you're just like having wishful thinking, and you're not putting too much effort into the thing. And because of that, you're not forcing success. You're not trying to acquire it with some sort of inauthenticity. You're showing up every day, but you're not thinking much of it because this is just who you are, And people try to be like, oh, it's never going to happen for you. This is not going to work out. Little do they know you have passion behind your pursuit, okay? You have intensity behind your drive, okay? And that's exactly why you're able to make this harvest today, because you weren't thinking about that end goal. You were thinking about, let me just enjoy myself. Let me just work on this project. Let me just do what I gotta do, okay? And you're collecting on efforts of the past, the old efforts of the past that the old you made. That's the vibe I'm getting here, okay? And that's why you're able to ascend and prosper much higher than those who opposed you in the past, because you're not thinking about what am I getting now. You're thinking about how do I just keep elevating myself as I go on my journey in order to get to ABC, which might or might not happen, but nonetheless, the journey is what's more important. That's the vibe I'm getting from you. But yeah, keep doing your thing. Cut off those toxic energies because there are beautiful, I'm hearing like some sort of beautiful paths opening up for you in the near term, okay? So yeah, these are all the messages that I have for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If this reading resonated, consider showing your support. I heard showing your path, showing your support by subscribing, liking the video, and leaving the comment down below. I truly appreciate it. And until next time, trust your path and let the universe work its magic.